Welcome to Cherryblossom Yoga. I'm Robin Dinerman. This is a half-hour Hatha yoga class for beginning and continuing students. When I first started yoga in Washington, D.C., or the metro area, there were very few teachers, and the teachers shared with each other, and the teachers would pick out a student and say, "Can you sub for me?" And that's how I became a teacher to begin with. And now there's so many programs available that you can do on site, that you could do at a local yoga studio, even by internet. And the same goes for classes. You have a variety of classes to choose from, so many styles, so many different approaches to yoga. This class is for people who are safety oriented. They may be new to yoga. They want more of a slowed down approach and time to experience the posture. So what I'm working on today will affect the hips, opening up the hips, stretching the thighs, and building the core. I'm going to start standing, and then the second part will be on the floor. I'll do some warm-ups to begin with, so you can feel where your knees are at and feel where your core is at. So we'll begin with breathing deeply in Tadasana. Breathing in through your nose, pulling the air into your lungs, letting it fill, imagine your whole torso, and then exhaling, tightening the belly muscles, pulling them back, letting all the old stale air out. Breathing in and out. Feet are hip distance apart. Your weight is evenly balanced on the soles of your feet. Breathe in, lifting, scrunching your shoulders up, and breathe out and reach. Tighten the belly, tailbone is tucked under. Breathe in. So we're first warming up the shoulders, and then spread your fingers, opening the palms as much as you can. And inhaling up, and exhaling. And inhaling. And warm your hands up a little. We're still working on the shoulders now, creating friction by rubbing your hands, and then cup your hand and give yourself a good pat on the shoulder and work your way up the neck. Good solid hits. And then warm up the hands again. Cup your hand. Oh, that should feel really good. And then backs of the hands press against each other, pushing hard. And then inhaling, rotating the arms back, pointing the thumbs back, drawing your shoulder blades toward the spine. Deep in-breath here. And out-breath, exhaling, pressing the backs of the hands against each other. And inhaling and open. And exhaling and pressing. Lifting your arms a little higher, think about opening your heart. And exhaling. And even higher, welcoming the day. And exhaling. Placing both hands at your lower back. Check your posture. Your head should not come forward. Firm the buttocks and press one hand into the other, drawing your elbows back, breathing in again, another chest opener, heart opener, increasing the oxygen in your blood. And exhaling and resting for a moment. Let your chin come down to your collarbone. Check your lower back, tailbone under, and let gravity pull your head down. No work being done here, not resisting gravity. But we're going to do a little bit of a warm-up for the lower back. So bending your knees, come forward. It's a standing forward bend with your knees bent. Let your head drop and eyes look through between the legs and begin pulling your belly in a little with each out breath and lifting the sit bones up. We're going to come up with a flat back rather than uncurling. Let the arms hang naturally. Check your feet, weight balanced evenly over your feet. And slowly come up and unhinge to a standing position. Breathe in, taking your left arm or one arm in your other hand, a little bit of a side stretch. And you don't need to pull your arm out of your shoulder. Think about your arm sending energy out of the fingertips. And inhale, center, change, and exhale. And now that you've been breathing deeply for a few minutes, you're more aware of your breath. And notice that your breath is deeper, your in-breath, and your out-breath is more extended. One more time on each side. And inhale, exhale. And then a little bit more warming up of the lower back and the hamstrings and also the muscles around the knees. So I'm going to stand a little bit on an angle here, feet hip distance apart, and drop the seat. And you may know this as chair position. Utkatanasana, and arms out at shoulder height. Now you want to keep your shoulders right above the hips. Don't extend your arms. And exhaling, bend your knees even more as if you're taking a seat, and then inhaling and straightening and exhaling. So with your attention at the knees, your attention, your spine, and notice that the heels and balls of the feet remain touching the floor. Breathing in, reach all the way up, palms forward, and exhale, bend the knees, bring the thumbs all the way down to your thighs. And breathing in, and out. Now we're going to hinge forward from the hips, keeping the flat back. Interlace your fingers loosely and place your hands or wrists very lightly on your legs. This is just for position. Don't let your head drop down. Try to keep the back of your neck long and lifted. Inhale, straighten your knees. Exhale, take a seat. And notice where you feel this. You may feel this one more in the calves. Now, what happens, you can get into a very nice movement here where you're not paying too much attention, then start losing your alignment, and you want to keep the shoulders over the hips and not push your sit bones out. So sometimes it helps to stand in front of a mirror and check yourself now and then. We're going full down. Let your head hang, look through between the feet, and bring your hands over to one leg and then to the other. Back to center. You could walk your hands forward and press your heels into the mat. So not really a downward dog, but come back. Unhinging, let's come up this way, arms alongside of the ears or the cheeks. Press down. We're going to tighten the buttocks. Eyes can look up, but do not drop your head back as you go into an arch. And return to center, hands at the heart, in prayer position. And pause and breathe. So what we've been doing is warming up the muscles, which we're going to use a little bit more extensively for a pose called Skandasana, which means a side lunge. And here's what I'm going to recommend. You're going to start with your feet not too far apart, and you're going to have to find the position for your feet where you feel balanced and your knees are okay. Now, usually in straight-legged poses, I say about 97% straight because I'm worried about hyperextending the joints. So try to keep that in mind. So the side angle pose, and we're not going to do a perfect one. We're not going to do the one you see in the videos. We're just going to do some easy modifications that lead up to it. So first of all, I'm going to bring right knee over right ankle, left knee over left ankle. So then I'm going to try to adjust my posture so the shoulders are above the hip. Back and forth. And then if you feel comfortable, you would separate your feet some more. I'm going to come forward here and use my hands. The hands are just slightly in front of my shoulders. I'm going to carefully bring my left knee over my left ankle. So I start getting a really nice stretch in the inner thigh. And then taking my time, going over right knee over right ankle. So after you've done this a few times, you may feel that's enough. You might feel more confident if you bring your feet closer together. This is all for you to explore. So I'm going to separate just a little bit more. So here is more what Skandasana, one of the many variations, looks like. So I have knee over ankle, and I could come up, although I'm not crazy about this pose, but the knees over the ankle. You could even turn this foot out and lift your toes up. So thinking about your center line and balance, and come down on this side and lifting upward, squaring your body to the front of your mat. It may feel a little bit like one of the warrior poses, but this is a side lunge. So now I've separated my feet a little bit more. This time I'm turning my upper body in the direction of my foot and thigh and bringing both hands behind me, lifting and lengthening the neck. So now it's a matter of strength and balance, and bring your attention to your navel, your center line. And slowly come up. And it's fine if you want to use your hands to come up. So you can go back and forth, but we're just going to come to the center and heel toe, back in, Tadasana. Link the thumbs, arms alongside of your ears, inhaling up, and let the arms float down to your sides, and pause, rest. We're coming down to the floor. So why don't you join me for some boat poses in just a few minutes. We'll return to Cherryblossom Yoga.
I like to eat apples and bananas. I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Welcome back to Cherryblossom Yoga. We're going to do Navasana, the boat pose. But we're going to do variations, and I want you to be careful about what you do and what you think you can do, and try it if you can, or go back to an easier version. We're going to start with some warm-ups to get you used to lifting the weight of the legs upward. So I'm going to turn on my mat, and you can see I spread my blanket out for this to give me extra cushioning in case I fall back. And because you're right on the edge, or I'm right on the edge of my sacrum at some points. So I like to feel that I have enough cushioning. So you could come back like so, kind of tucking your elbows in, hands flat to the floor, fingers spread, and the shoulders above the elbows. But see what I'm doing with my head? You don't want your head all the way back, maybe right about here, but when you get into the pose, or when I get into the pose, I always bring my head forward, and then I have to adjust. So now think about your navel. Think about the navel, the expanse from hip to hip through the navel. So tighten the buttock muscles and lift one leg up. It doesn't have to be high. I just want you to feel the weight of your leg and how much you may or may not be relying on your arms to help you hold yourself up. So remember, ease into the posture and ease out. The other leg comes up. And holding. We'll switch to this leg again. Now that you've done it one time on each side, does the second time you do it feel easier? Because, oh yeah, I can do that. And then come lower down. Then you can come down to the floor or sit up. I'm going to come forward to stretch out a little bit. Okay, here's a good workout for the core that you can practice at any time. So, hands over your head, palms up. Inhale, and bring your hands or your thumbs in line with the left leg. So I've got my right knee up. It should be over the hip and the shin parallel to the floor. And then inhale and exhale. And inhale and exhale. Thinking about that band of muscle that emanates from your navel. So you could hold this. You could hold either side. And release. It's a good one to bring in a lot of oxygen and then work on your toning your tummy. All right, I'm going to come up to a seated position, and then I'll place a hand behind my right thigh, just above the knee. I want to square my body to the end of the mat, and although I'm leaning back a little bit, don't have to flex the foot, but I'd like you to feel or start teaching your muscles how it feels to hold the leg up. You could also try like this. So if you notice some wobbliness, it shows that those muscles could be toned up a little bit more. So we're going to try it this way. Hand behind each thigh. Think about bringing your center line forward. Sternum forward, navel forward. Feel where you're balanced on. It's not exactly my bum and it's not exactly the sacrum, but here I am. This is Ardha Navasana, or half boat. And then come down. So just notice how you're feeling through your tummy. Then come up. This would be more advanced, and here I am dropping my shoulders back for balance. I can really feel it across my lower abdomen. And I'm shaking because I could be stronger. And then release. I'm just folding forward. Now you want to take probably a little bit more resting time and not do these things in succession. But hey, here I am in Ardha Navasana, and then both legs out, drop the shoulders. This is full boat. And release. And that I felt really along the lower back. And I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you can practice it. Let's take a few minutes now in Shavasana to receive the benefits of the asana, the deep breathing, and the concentration. Come down to the floor in corpse pose. Feet hip distance apart. Take a deep breath, arch your back, tuck your shoulder blades in toward the spine, and then turn your palms up. Allow the air to flow in and out. Feel the beating of your heart. Allow yourself to feel the sensation of floating. No obstacles, nothing holding you back. Feeling your own energy, focused and alert. And if you can stay in Shavasana, please do. If it's time to go, roll onto your side. Let your head hang as you return to a seated position. I hope you're feeling wonderful, and I hope you carry that feeling with you into your day, into your week, into your life. Namaste.